This is what happens when floodwater encroaches on vital infrastructure. In this case, a national grid site in Gloucestershire, which was protected by a temporary flood barrier. It gave the emergency services vital time to pump away the water before any real damage was done. The Geodesign barrier is also used by UK Power Networks in its battle against the elements. It can be assembled within hours around any of the company's 300 main substations which are at risk from flooding, like this one in Hertfordshire.
We subscribe to the Environment Agency Flood Warning Direct System, which actually sends us an email to say there is a substation at risk. We can look down that list and identify our substations. We can then talk to the Flood Information Duty Officer in the Environment Agency, who will tell us which ones are most concerned to him.
At all times, safety remains UK Power Networks' #1 priority, and every effort is made to guard its substations from river and coastal flooding, keeping the lights on for homes and businesses in even the most adverse of weather conditions. In order to build the barrier, the galvanised steel supports are opened and locked at a 45-degree angle. The supports are linked together using horizontal connection rods both at the top and the bottom, strengthening the structure. Aluminium sheets are then secured to the supports, which are self-anchored and don't need bolting to the ground. Very quickly, the temporary wall starts to take shape.
At a severe flood warning, we would start to make preparations to erect the barrier. Probably take about 3 to 4 hours to protect a large site like this, and of course a factor is about how much notice we have and whether we think we've got enough time to protect the whole site or whether we just focus on critical parts of the site and those parts that are at greater risk.
Once the structure is assembled, it's draped with a polypropylene sheet, which acts as a protective membrane. Chains are used to hold the waterproof membrane down, while clips attach it to the top of the barrier. The weight of any water on the sheet would provide an effective seal against the ground, minimising seepage under the barrier.
If you were to build a sandbag wall this height, 1.25 metres, you would need about 2 tons of sand, and that takes a lot of filling and carrying and constructing. So it's a really time-consuming effort that you're not doing by using this barrier.
During the storm surge last December in North Norfolk, we deployed it at Great Yarmouth substation where the Environment Agency said we could get a flood there. We didn't, fortunately, but we were ready for it.
In a real emergency, UK Power Networks teams up with other organisations for help, including the Environment Agency, the police and fire brigade, and in extreme conditions, the army. UK Power Networks, which delivers electricity to 8 million customers in East Anglia, London and the South East, advises those who may be affected by flooding to prepare well in advance. If a flood does reach a customer's property, they're advised to switch off their electricity at the mains, but only if it's safe to do so. They should contact UK Power Networks on the relevant emergency number for their area. Details are also on the company website.